What's going on, guys, and welcome to Formula 7 Racing, and we are in Realistic. Thank you all for joining me. Banana, thank you so much, mate. 27 months on a 10-month streak. Really appreciate it. What's going on, Bjorn? What's going on, Jeffy? How are we all this evening? So we are about to go racing in Formula 7 Realistic. I'm going to jump into a party, and we have got it all going on tonight, let me tell you. 18 drivers on the grid, one to join in Q1, and we have two engine penalties for both Mercedes. If I wanted an engine penalty, it would have to be in Las Vegas because it is such a good track for overtaking, especially if you're in a faster car. So I would be happy to take an engine penalty in Vegas, I'm going to be honest. So Casper is one of the first drivers out in the Aston Martin, and be interesting to see what he can do this evening. He's done really well since coming into the Aston Martin team, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of people looking at his pace in the Aston Martin, ready for next season, I reckon so. Anyway, but we'll have to wait and see what transpires from the talks from the team principals. I've been very, not lazy, but just not around as much as I have been recently, and I will get sorted with Realistic as soon as I possibly can. Mirko does retire after setting us just going out, as he's got that engine penalty. What's going on, Kev? Happy birthday, mate. Jeffy, I know, Qatar, man. The only good thing about Qatar is that Ferraris and McLarens will probably be taken at the same time. That's the only good thing. I have no idea why you have an advert, because I specifically turn off adverts for F7, because I don't like making money on adverts on stream, because I feel like the viewing quality should surpass anything else. So for you guys to have the best viewing experience, I don't know why there's ads. So Casper in the Aston Martin is on a lap. He's got his teammate just in front of him as he comes down the Las Vegas Strip, past all these sort of iconic buildings. I messed up helping my teammate out. I was trying to give him a tow last week in Kota. Oh, he's messed it up there, Casper. I was trying to give him, and he's invalidated it. I was trying to give him a tow in Kota down the straight towards turn 12. Tried to brake, missed my braking point, went across the curb, and he cut back behind me. It was lucky, really. So Casper doesn't set a lap. CJ in the Racing Bull is also out on track, and Fanfinus with that engine penalty is just going to set a really slow lap to the line. Nicely done from Fanfinus, and that will be both Mercedes out. Yeah, that's perfect. Fanfi don't need to stop, but yeah, don't get disqualified because you'll end up behind Mirko. That's all. I knew I was waiting for him to do that 2 minute. I like it. No problem, Epic. Right, well done, fams. So CJ in the Racing Bull just coming through sector 3. And he just tags the wall a little bit there, does CJ, young driver, getting better and better as each week goes by. And then down towards the start-finish line, it's a 1:32.6 for the Racing Bull. Crab Boys in the Williams. He's not been on track for a long time. He's not been racing for a while. Hopefully he starts to get the feel for it again. And we see more and more of him fast this year. Deadly in the Aston Martin just coming down the strip. You've got Formula Rye in the other Racing Bull, a 1:33.8, so a great lap now for him. What about Mitch in the kicked Sauber towards the start-finish line? And Mitch goes fastest, a 1:31.4. Brilliant stuff from him. Crab Boys in the Williams still on his lap, and then Deadly will be next. He goes P2, a 1:32.5 in the Aston Martin. Nimblecat in the Red Bull. He is reserving today, so we'll see what he can do as well. And he's just coming down turn 11 and 12 in towards Treasure Island, down through sector 2 towards Caesar's Palace down the Las Vegas Boulevard. You have the Bellagio fountains on your right hand side as he's just coming up to now. That DRS will kick in. And then in towards turn 14 and 15 we go. He slams on them brakes over the apex, nice and tidy through there for Nimble Cat. He will just be all about a consistent and clean lap, and that's what we want to see from the Red Bull driver. And he comes down towards the line, and it's a 1:34.8, goes up to P6, and then we have a couple of drivers just waiting to come on out laps. 12 minutes to go. Hackmore in, the Ferrari is now on an out lap. It'll be interesting to see where is B right? Oh, there. Jeez, I thought you were in then. It'll be interesting to see what B right and Reese are able to do with only a few races left and a championship battle still to fight for. So yeah, that'll be fun to see. Just bear with me, guys. Let me just grab a drink. So we are on board. We are on board with Hackmore in the Ferrari, and he's just coming in towards turn 12. And then down the Las Vegas Strip. And it'll be interesting to see what the Scuderia can do. His teammate will be watching on. I'm sure the Ferraris will be working strongly together this evening. The same goes for the McLarens, and the Mercedes will be well out of trouble at the back for the majority of the opening laps. And then as the race progresses, that's where we'll see them come into play. But it is Dennis going fastest with a 1:31.0, and that will be safely in to Q2. Jeffrey Boy in the Red Bull to the line goes P3, a 1:31.8, so a good lap from the Red Bull driver. And then we have Jay in the Haas, just coming out of turn 16, down Harmon Avenue towards turn 17. You go underneath two pedestrian bridges and then up to P4. Maxi block is in. There we go. And we just need Epic. Go Jay in. Like an AK-47 invite, that. Yeah, so Jay went up to P4. We have Casper back out on a lap. So he's just started again in that Aston Martin. And Maxi Block is just about to take his seat in the other Haas. Yeah, I know, yeah. So, Casper coming around. Oh, Jesus. Turns 7, 8, and then 9. Down Sands Avenue, past that monorail. Well, you're pretty much running at the side of the monorail and then underneath it, past the Venetian. And then down in towards the Fashion Show Mall. You've got the Mirage on the right, past Caesar's Palace. It's such a fantastic circuit, it really is. I don't know if it's just the circuit that's fantastic, or just the iconicness of this track, with everything that's around it, and the things you can see, the fact it's a night race. So yeah. So Casper up to P5. So Epic OJ. So we do have Reese on a lap. He's gone at purple sector 1. Oh, Epic OJ's car has retired now, you're right. So that means only one driver will actually go out here. So into turn 12. I know, Epic, I know. So Reese coming down the Las Vegas Boulevard. And in towards sector 3 at turn 14 we go. And the scooter here slams on them brakes as the spotlights just glisten off that scarlet red of the Ferrari. And up Harmon Avenue towards turn 17. Down towards the line, and the Ferrari driver goes fastest with a 1:30.7. His championship rival of B Wright will be next as he comes up Harmon Avenue towards turn 17, down towards the line, and it is P2 a 1:30.8. This is really, really competitive already here in Q1. Nimble car with a little slide in that Red Bull. And a little missing front wing for the Red Bull driver. He will correct himself and he will get back onto it as the McLaren just goes for, I think that is B right just on an in lap. Then you've got Lewis W also on an in lap. Super Turbo in the Williams went up to P11, so a good lap from him. Oh, he went deep there, Super Turbo. But he did correct it. So into the pit lane we go. Nimblecat will come into the pits. You know what? Yeah, Maxi Block needs to get out. So he needs to get out pretty soon. And Nimblecat is the driver at risk at the moment. And then the racing bull of Formula Right. Oh, he's going to set another lap. He does improve, wow, massively as well. But he stays P14 just behind CJ3000, who's ready to go again. He's on an out lap. They're all sort of in that area of risk. It'd be nice to see what Nimblecat can do in the Red Bull. So, Maxi Block still in the pit lane with 3 minutes to go. This is interesting. So at the moment, Nimblecat in the Red Bull would get through. Formula Right, CJ on his out lap. And it is getting very tense. Some of the drivers will not come back out, some will. It completely depends. So Super Turbo retires, calls it a day in Q1, and CJ3000 is back on a lap. Sorry guys. So CJ3000 down Colville Lane towards turn 5. Some of these drivers leaving it very late indeed. CJ3000 just coming past the sphere at turn 8 and 9, past the stage. You can hear the music playing. Nimble Cat is on his way back out in that Red Bull. Fanfners with that engine penalty, and I tell you what, Maxi Block is not coming out. There's a little bit of movement in the garage. Is he on his way? He's not going to make it. That is it. So Maxi Block will not leave the pit lane. That is it for Q1. Nimble Cat in the Red Bull will go through to Q2. So CJ 3000 is also improving down towards turn 14 for the Racing Bull. In past Planet Hollywood on the left hand side, down Harmon Avenue, and once again clatters into that wall on the right hand side at the exit of turn 16. To the line we go, but everybody is now safely through up to P12. Deadly's on an outlet, but he doesn't need to be. And that's the same with Nimble Cat, as they are all safely through, including Mitch, who went P4, by the way. That was an incredible lap in the kick Sauber. So yeah, really well done. The Saubers are looking very pacey these last few weeks. So Nimble, with 30 seconds to go, he might just head back into the pit lane, or he might want to get a little bit of practicing. And he is going to get a nice little practice lap in. So to the line we go, and off he goes. CJ 3000 is through. He's got the safety nets behind him of Formula Right. And Deadly is back into the pit lane as well. So it is just literally all on Nimble. We'll ride on board with the Red Bull driver as one of the fan favourites in the paddock and in the league. As he comes around turn 5 up towards the left-hander, turn 6, and then the braking zone comes at you pretty quickly into 7. You want to take it nice and short around to the right-hand side at turn 8 and in towards Sands Avenue at turn 9. You've got a huge golf course to your right. You can see the Venetian in front of you, and then down towards turn 10 at the right-hander, and then straight into 11 at the left-hander, and then you'll slam onto your brake pedal over the apex at turn 12, and then back onto the throttle as we come down the DRS, straight past Treasure Island, down past the Mirage on the right hand side, and then in towards Caesar's Palace. The DRS will kick in, and then the rear wing will open, giving you that extra little bit of speed as we go past the Bellagio mountains, past the Bellagio fountains, into turn 14 and 15. In towards turn 16 at Harmon Avenue, past Planet Hollywood on your left-hand side, and then it's back onto the throttle all the way to the line. And the Red Bull driver has put on a pretty sleek display here on his final run-in, and the Red Bull driver is in to Q2. So it is Reese that is fastest in Q1. It is B. Wright in P2 and Hatmore in P3, Mitch P4, then Jeffy, J, Lewis, Casper. I'm just trying to get these names down. 9 is Nick. Then the Williams in P10 is Crad. And then Super Turbo, Charker, Deadly, Formula Rye, Nimble. Then we had Fanfnis, Epic OJ, Maxi Block, and Mirko. Okay. So Fanfnis actually going to start P16 because Epic OJ and Maxi didn't settle lap time. So good readings for him. It's going to be interesting when we do the grid for season 13, you know. We've got to add in 2 extra drivers for each tier. That's going to be pretty cool, you know. But it's going to be really good. I can't actually wait for that because I was very, very close to opening a 4th tier for season 12. but I've put it off on the basis that we're going to have 6 extra drivers across all the tiers on a Sunday from season 13. And realistic as well. F2 is a big thing that I've been toying with for a long time. We did bring it in for a bit, and I have been toying with it again, the thoughts of it. But there's going to be 2 extra cars on the grid from season 13, so I'm just trying to hold everything off. We're going to make a lot of changes in terms of we're going to make a lot of aesthetic changes, a lot of visual changes for season 12 to sort of up our game a little bit. And then from season 13, we're going to go big, and we're going to go all in, and we're going to go extra tiers, we're going to go huge changes in realistic, loads of changes on the grid. So we've got big things in the pipeline, but we're talking 6 to 12 months ahead of time. But I need to get them overlays on for season 12 and just completely revolutionize our streaming for the drivers and our viewership for the fans. So the Sauber driver will be first to set a lap, and it is Nick in the Sauber. Owen Salmon. So around turn 2. Oh, and he's made a mistake, and that'll be costly. And will he carry on going? I think he will, just to get a little banker on the board. He does have a Ferrari behind him of Hackmore, who's not playing around. The 27.8 in the Sauber for Sector 1. And 1.3 seconds quicker through Sector 1 is the Ferrari of Hackmore. 26.7 for Casper, and then a 26.7 for Super Turbo. So very evenly matched through Sector 1 for the Williams and the Aston Martin. The 27.1 for Barry back in the V-car, but he is on the medium compound tyres. And then a 27.3 for Nimblecat, only 2/10 off the pace of Barry back, which is not bad at all. And then Hackmore coming down the Las Vegas Strip. B right is 1/10 quicker through Sector 1 than all the drivers so far. Hackmore 9/10 quicker in Sector 2 than the Sauber. And then we've got all the drivers coming through now. But I can see purples ringing up everywhere for B right in the McLaren at the moment. And that is the Sauber, and then Hackmore with a 1:31.2. B right's now nearly 3/10 quicker than the Ferrari coming through Sector 2. So we'll jump on board with B right a minute. Yeah, banana, yeah. So the McLaren driver up towards the line we go. Hackmore is currently on the fastest top spot, CJ with a 1:32.0, but it is the McLaren a 1:30.9 that goes fastest. Lewis W in the McLaren will be behind him, but Crab Boys will go first. He goes up to P4 and in front of his teammate by half a second. Yeah, I agree, Banana. And Lewis goes up to P3 and in front of the Racing Bull. Jeffy Boy in the Red Bull goes P3 and takes it off Lewis, 2/10 quicker than the Papaya. And Jay's in the Haas, the Canadian, here in the USA. And he goes P3 in the Haas. He is looking very pacey, Jay. Mitch as well in the Sauber. So what can Mitch pull out of the bag here? Reese, Deadly and Casper all on outlaps. And he's just a little tag of the wall there. He's on first name basis with the outskirts of the track there. And Mitch goes P4. Sorry guys. Let's see what Reese can do. So down. Oh, and he's gone. Oh, that was close. That's so close. It's brilliantly executed though from the Ferrari. Down the Las Vegas Boulevard we go. The Scuderia yet to set his lap time, but we do have Deadly just in front of him, coming in towards turn 14. Over 15 and 16, and that was got too nicely done. The calendar is actually done, Banana. I'm just making sure that everybody is okay with it. E7 for Deadly, and then Reese in the Ferrari. Yeah, realistic, the calendar's done as well. Reese with a 130.5. But yeah, the calendar for realistic is actually done for next season. In fact, yeah, I can't get it up because I'm collecting live data, but yeah, the calendar is done, but I just want to make sure that we've done the right thing, because when I design the calendar, I have got to look ahead and look at bank holidays, look at, you know, weekends, what's going on at Easter, and, you know, all of these things, and different types of holidays in Scotland and different countries, and races that are going to be on that same day, and what time they're going to be on, and all that sort of stuff, and what tracks are on that day. And yeah, so there's obviously, as you know, Banana, because you used to help with the team, on the team. So yeah, we have to look at so many different things before we make the calendar and before we publish it. Realistic is slightly different. Realistic, yeah. I think I put a break on Father's Day actually, because we should have had a race on Father's Day. But yeah, but realistic is slightly different because it's on a Wednesday. Now there's different things that goes into that, because it's not the same as a normal weekend where, oh, I don't want to really race if it's a bank holiday and things like that. I'm looking at Champions League football. I'm looking who's playing. Is it a semi-final? Is it a quarter-final? Is it a final of the Champions League? You know, I look at all of these things, and have we got a break on? Have we already got a race that weekend? What is the race that weekend? Does the time suit everybody? You know, when does the summer times kick in? You know, the different time zones. And so yeah, but it's about 4 or 5 races from the end that the time zone kicks in, so we shouldn't have an issue. But it's looking good. I do like the calendar for next season on a Sunday. Wednesday, the calendar looks good. Very similar to the real calendar this year. A few changes, but I think everybody will be happy with the calendar and with the sprint races where they are. So yeah. So I am not going to be putting reverse tracks in realistic. Just doesn't work. It's supposed to be realistic, and in real life we don't race reverse tracks, so it won't be in realistic. But yes, there is one race in Sunday, and it's 15th of March 2026. We have on the same day, we have Silverstone reverse and then Silverstone normal, 25% short qualifying for each of them on the same day, double points weekend. Of course, Salute. Yeah, we can look into that, definitely. Salute, I will take some time with you and we'll go through a few things that you think need sprucing up, and then we'll have a look at them. But yes, 15th of March, we are racing in Silverstone. 2 25% races, 1 reverse, 1 normal, double points. It's going to be epic. It's going to be epic. That is the only reverse track we've got, and it's only a 25%. And then we've got a normal Silverstone with 25%. So it's going to be really, really good. So, Formula I is on a lap, so is Nimble Cat. Formula I will be first. He gets a slipstream from CJ, a little bit of a slipstream anyway. Oh, he's not on a lap, I don't think. No, he's not. Formula I isn't on a lap, so CJ was trying to help him out, but he couldn't. Nimble Cat is 4 attempts up at the moment. That is not a bad idea, actually. Yeah, I agree, Salute. I agree. Banana, that's not a bad idea, having the sprint race. Having it as a sprint race instead of double points, and having the sprint race. And having the sprint race as the reverse, and having the feature race as the normal. So then you still get the 50% normal race. Oh, Nimble loses it coming out, and he loses his front wing. That, I like that idea a lot, actually. That might be implemented. Anyway, CJ in the Racing Bull. So it's purple sector 2. Deadly on the brink, CJ on the brink, couple of Williams behind them. Nick in the Sauber, who made a mistake on his first run. We've got a minute and a half remaining of Q2. And there's an Aston Martin that's made a mistake, but we are coming to the end of qualifying here. And CJ moves out of the way, but he is up to P8. Formula I, Nick. Nimble Cat is out in Q2. Super Turbo, we do have a McLaren of Lewis W going again. So is B right. Hackmore is on a lap. So is J. So 30 seconds to go. So that is Deadly. They just got a toe off his teammate Casper. I reckon there's going to be some big names going out here. So Deadly to the line. Goes P3. Wow. The Ferrari of Hackmore goes P2. Casper can do no more. Here comes the Williams of Super Turbo. Goes P11, he's out. The Williams of Super Turbo is out. Crab Boy will be next. Formula I is also on a lap. CJ is in P9. Lewis W is on a lap. He's going to try and get it. He only needs to improve by about half a tenth. Crab Boy is out. Formula I is coming through the sphere section. Nick is coming down the Las Vegas Boulevard. Lewis W in the McLaren is 2 tenths up. That would put him close to Mitch in the Sauber, and he does go in front of Mitch in the Sauber. So CJ in the Racing Bull is on the brink of elimination, and all we've got left is Formula I and Nick. Can any of them get into Q3? And B-Right goes fastest with a 1:30.5, and Nick is out. That's a huge name gone. Formula I is finding a little bit more, but in a Racing Bull he'll have to find something special if he wants to get through. But it looks like CJ might be safe from his own teammate here. Down towards the line for Formula I. Oh, he's invalidated it, but he did get a 1:32.7. It wouldn't have been enough. So that is it for Q3. Mitch goes back into the pit lane. Deadly as well. So that is it for Q2. I'm just having a look at the standings. And I think it would be very, very hard for Reese to win it from here. Oh, sorry, I've not got the right point system up. I apologise. So I actually don't know yet. So, Q2 it is. Be right. There is fastest. It's Reese in P2. And then Hackmore. And it's Deadly, Casper, J, Jeffy, Lewis, W, Mitch and Charker. CJ. And then we got Nick in the Sauber in P11 that just goes out. Super Tuber in P12. And then Crad Boys in P13. 1 minute. Then Buy Me Back and Nimblecat in the Racing Bull and the Red Bull that go out in Q2. Let me just change this point system. Bear with me, guys. Because I want to see it live. See what's going on with the championship. So I need to update the points back to normal. So, as it stands, let me refresh this. So it's actually, Reese isn't completely out of it. 193 points, but you've got B-Rat on 275 and Fanfinis on 279. So 4 points between them. And then it's 83 points from B-Rat to Fanfinis and 87 to B-Rat, and then Fanfinis 87 to Reese. It'll be an absolute travesty if Reese walks away without any title this season, because he is an absolutely phenomenal competitor. His pace is incredible. So it will be a travesty if he doesn't walk away with anything. He is the defending Tier 1 World Champion. Fanfinis is the defending Realistic World Champion. So we are on board with the Ferrari of Reese, but Jeffy, Casper, Hackmore are already on laps. So Hackmore just coming through. You've got Casper and Jeffy. So Jeffy is the leader of the pack here in Q3. And coming down the Las Vegas Strip, here's the Red Bull. You see the displays in the background. we're going to see some fantastic overtaking this evening down that straight. 8.5 minutes till the lights go out. And then up Harmon Avenue. And to the line for the Red Bull for his first of his final runs, and it's a 1:30.9. Hackmore will be next in the Ferrari, and he goes a 1:31.4. For him, the Aston Martin of Casper, and he goes fastest with a 1:30.8 in that Aston Martin. And then the two McLarens, both on outlap, both hitting the line to go. And Jay, who has been super impressive in the Haas, currently in Q3 and in P6, and he's coming to the line, and it's a 1:31.7, goes to P4. CJ in the Racing Bull is a 1:32.1, just behind Jay in the Haas. And then we have Reese in the Scuderia, down to the line, yellow flags waving. And that is a 1:30.3 for the Ferrari driver, the fastest lap time this evening so far. Lewis W and B Wright will be next. At the moment, B Wright is the fastest man through Sector 1 currently. He is the fastest man through Sector 2 currently. He is 10 1,000ths up on Reese at the moment as he comes towards Sector 3. And then in towards turn 14 for the McLaren driver. This is going to be extremely close, really tight racing. It is just executed beautifully through there. And the Papaya down to the line. Has he got the pace? And it's a 1:30.5, and he drops it through Sector 3. So Casper P3, Lewis goes up to P5, a 1:31.2. So every single driver in Q3 gets a nice banker on the board. And it is close. Casper in the Aston Martin looking very strong indeed. I'll be surprised if he doesn't get a little call up from Mercedes at some point. I mean, Mercedes have got a very strong duo though. But when they need a reserve, I'll be surprised if they don't get Casper into one of them seats. Yeah, not sure what's going on, Dennis. You're usually there and thereabouts, but I'm sure you'll get it out of the bag at the end. So all the drivers will go back into the pit lane and just wait for their final runs. Remember, guys, if you are looking for any race setups, it's crap when it's like that, Dennis. But yeah, if any of you guys are looking for any race setups, sim racing setups in the chat, use F7R on checkout. You'll get 5% off. And you'll get any of the setups for F125, Assetto Corsa, iRacing, the lot. All the best setups that you can imagine. Sorry, guys. So Deadly is back on an outlap down Colville Lane. He goes. 3 minutes to go, and then we are race time. And I can't wait for this race. I'm struggling a little bit. I'm a bit tired, if I'm going to be honest with you. Every single driver on the grid is on an outlap, and they are getting ready for their final runs. Deadly will be the first of the final runners, and I can't see him running into any traffic, because if he did, that would mean somebody at the back of the grid would not make the line. So Deadly in towards turn 1, nice and tight to the apex, and then wide on the exit just to keep that pace flowing. He will go through here and then just lift off slightly down with the DRS, and then that extra little bit of speed as he comes down Colville Lane towards turn 5. He'll move to the outside line, down in towards 4th gear, and then back up through towards the sphere section at turn 7. Over the apex, keeps it valid, very nicely done, riding the curbs a little bit of oversteer on the exit, and then nice and tight to the wall at the exit of 9 and into Sands Avenue, round the right-hander at turn 10, and then in towards the left-hander at turn 11, dropping it down again in towards 3rd gear, and then back onto the throttle, and his teammate of Casper is going to give him a tow, but Casper might not make it to the line here. He's getting a huge tow here, Deadly, and he gave him a little bit of extra speed down the Las Vegas Boulevard, and now Casper might have compromised his own lap here. Is he not going again, Casper? It's going to be very tight to the line out of Harmon Avenue at turn 16. Here comes Casper. He's going to have to get back on the throttle. This is going to be really close. Is the Aston Martin driver going to make it? Deadly will be first. Casper will just be behind him, and Casper will get to the line with a second left. That is quite incredible teamwork and timed beautifully. The Haas driver will be first of Jay. He's 3 tenths up on his lap time already. So what can he do as he comes down in towards turn 14? But the Aston Martins, that is fantastic work. So the Haas driver of Jay up towards turn 17 and then in towards the line. Where can he put it? And he goes P6, and that is brilliant. Especially realistic performance. Reese is going to improve again at 1:30.2 for the Ferrari driver. The McLaren of Lewis W stays P5. The other Ferrari of Hackmore. Where can he put it any closer to his teammate? He does. P2 at 1:30.4. Said he didn't have the pace. Oh, he had us all kidding. Here comes CJ in the Racing Bull, and he goes P9. The Sauber of Mitch is going to be next. Where can he put it? And he goes P7. Mitch on form once again. Jeffy Boy in the Red Bull goes up to P4 and in front of Casper. Be right in. The McLaren goes P2 at 1:30.3. And the McLaren separates the two Ferraris. Casper in the Aston Martin is slightly down, ever so slightly, but he compromised his lap to help his teammate, but he comes up towards line. Has he found something in sector 3? He hasn't, but he is P5. So it is Ferrari, McLaren, Ferrari, Red Bull, Aston as your top 5. So Reese is on pole position for the Grand Prix here in Las Vegas. B Wright in P2 and Hackmore in P3. Jeffrey Boy in P4 and Casper in P5. Lewis W P6. Mitch in P7. Jay in P8. Deadly in P9. And CJ completes your top 10. 1/10 separate Reese and B Wright. 2.5 tenths separate the top 3. Wow, this is going to be very good. Here we go. This is it. We're going to go racing. So let's have a look at tyres. So mediums for Reese and B Wright, hards for Hackmore, and then mediums for the rest of the grid, and hards for Crab Boys, Formula Ryan, Nimblecat, and then mediums for the rest. So only 4 drivers to start on the hard compounds. Hi Mike, Malk, how are you? So we are getting ready here in Vegas. 19 drivers on the grid, 25 laps. You know, when the lights go out, this will be the first time in 12 weeks that somebody other than Fanfinus will be leading the championship. So they all line up. Be right, not very well. Maxfit and Mirko lining up. Mirko just behind the Alpine of Epic OJ. And here we go. Ready to go as they line up. So this is it here in Formula 7 Realistic. Round 17 here in Vegas. Powered by Sim Racing Setups. And it is lights out and away we go. The Ferrari cuts right across the McLaren straightaways. They go down in towards turn 1. They do get through nicely. Jeffy is on the inside of the Scuderia. The Aston Martin is there. Formula I is at the back of the grid. He's got a 10-second time penalty for CJ, but Jeffy Boy is through on Hackmore. Formula I is out. Maxi Block is there. Nimble Cat might have got involved. Fanfulness is coming through on Epic OJ in the Alpine. The Mercedes is up to P15. Mirko is already up 7 places. Wow, what a start from him. As they've seen a Williams there, a Super Turbo just going deep. He is up 2 places. But a little bit of touching and a bit of argy-bargy between the drivers at the back. But it is Reese that leads to B-Ride to Jeffrey, Hackmore, Casper and Lewis are your top 6. Only one change in the top 7, and that is Jeffy Boy that is through on Hackmore. But Reese leads by half a second to B-Ride halfway through lap 1. So let's see what is going on. Here comes Mirko on Nick, the Mercedes driver, going up the inside of the Sauber. They are wheel to wheel and the Sauber has got the pace, but eventually they'll have to concede as the Mercedes, with that straight line speed, makes it 8 overtakes at the start of this Grand Prix. The Sauber driver is going to go later on the brakes. He's going to go for that move up the inside. He leaves him the space, but he does just slide in front of him, and that is phenomenal from Mirko. Timed it beautifully just in front of him, and then CJ will try and make the move as well down in towards turn 17. They do go side by side. The Sauber will have the inside line going in towards turn 1. Can he keep him at bay? He does, and the green machine comes out on top as the V-Carb goes sliding round as Maximot picks up a penalty in the pit lane. So Fanfulness on Crabboy into the slipstream. He's seen his teammate making up positions. Up the inside, CJ's off the track. And the Williams backs out. And that is CJ into the runoff area. Nimblecat picks up a free position in that Red Bull. But the 2 Mercedes are climbing through the ranks already. And that will not be music to the front runners' ears. It's a Ferrari, McLaren, Red Bull. Your top 3. 3 different constructors, but it is Reese that leads. That DRS will now kick in. Will it make any sort of difference? Let's check them out as they go down the Las Vegas Boulevard. And that DRS will kick in. It kicks in so far down though, but into the slipstream. DRS now enabled, and they're coming at some pace. And the McLaren moves over to the left-hand side, takes the inside line on the Scuderia. Reese just slots in behind him, and we'll see a lot of that overtaking here this evening. Fanfulness has done the same on Nick once again down the inside. Mirko on Super Turbo on the exit. Super Turbo has a little snap, and Mirko makes it 9 overtakes in the opening 2 laps. B-Right setting the fastest lap of this race as Reese chases him down. This is a really good start to this Grand Prix. So down in towards the sphere we go. So Reese will have the DRS this time. It is Maxi at the back. So here is B-Right, and Reese is going to return the favour into the slipstream of the McLaren. He's now going to take the inside line as they go down in towards turn 14. The McLaren will leave in the space. They do nearly touch the Ferrari, and the McLaren is getting tasty. B-Right does stay ahead. Wow, that was close. Fanfulness and Super Turbo going at it. The McLaren is in front of the Williams. CJ and Nimble, the Racing Bull, in front of the Red Bull down the Las Vegas Boulevard as well. And CJ's up to P15. Reese and B-Right going at it in towards turn 1. But it is B-Right that stays ahead. Mirko is now 10 overtakes to the good as he goes past Jay in the Haas. And now he has Mitch ahead of him to make it 11 down the DRS straight as well. He will pick it up into the slipstream of the Sauber, moves over to the right hand side. The Sauber will try and squeeze him as much as possible. That is a yellow flag, and that is B-Right this round. B-Right's made a mistake, and the Ferrari of Hackmore will come through, and the McLaren will go up the inside. The Red Bull is through, the Ferrari just pushing on the inside, and it is getting very spicy between the pair of them. Hackmore and the Ferrari. There is another yellow flag. Hackmore leaves him the space. B-Right is through. Jeffy Boy into P2. He's going to try and make a move on the Ferrari, but he has to slow down as Reese is trying to play that DRS chicken again. He slows down again to try and not get ahead as they go down the Las Vegas Boulevard, and that means Jeffy Boy will try and take the lead. This is spicy. So Jeffy Boy now will make the move, and the Red Bull driver and B-Right might even get a move as well with that DRS. Here comes the McLaren, and he is going to just back out of that one. He does, and that is Lewis W, and that is Casper, and there is yellow flags waving, and I'm not sure why, but these drivers are so close. Here comes B-Right on Reese. Around the outside he goes, and up to P2 in front of his championship rival. Hackmore is there, and Reese on a very slow exit there. I'm not sure what happened. Fanfinus Mirko is through on Mitch. He's got the two Aston Martins in front of him. So that is the Sauber that is out in the pit lane. That is Hackmore through on B-Right. What has gone on with B-Right again? Lewis W is through on Casper. He's made the move on the Aston Martin. He's going to try and get his foot down. But B-Right is down to P4 again and behind the Ferrari of Hackmore. Reese is trying to stay within DRS range of the Red Bull. Has he made another mistake in that McLaren? And this is not good for B-Right, but he only needs to finish ahead of Fanfinus. But knowing that he's got an engine penalty next week, he will not like the thought of this. So Reese on Jeffy Boy, and he wasn't close enough to make a move. And they're all just lining up once again. Hackmore behind his teammate. Is that sort of safety net now? 6 laps in. So 19 laps to go. Strategies will play a hugely important part in this Grand Prix. One second. No, but it does say Reese has slight front wing damage. Have I not seen that? No, he's not got a missing end plate, so it must be very minor damage that Reese has got, that Mitch has got, and Super Turbo has got. So, yeah. But no, it doesn't say any damage for B-Right. He is now closing the gap on Hackmore, but Hackmore, remember, is on hard compounds. Here comes Reese again on the Red Bull driver, moves over to the left-hand side, gets the move done, and he is back into the lead. Hackmore, Jeffy has to cover him off. Around turn 15 and 16. B-Right is there. Lewis W is also the safety net for B-Right now, and that was deadly with a bit of a slide coming out of there, and Mirko does make the move. And the Mercedes driver from P19 is up to P7. And he has one Aston Martin down, 1 to go. Reese leads to Jeffy, to Hackmore. The exact same as last week. Reese won in, well, the week before, Reese won in Brazil and Jeffy finished in P2. But Hackmore is chasing down Jeffy. He's trying to go for a move. He's trying to find an opening. Jeffy goes a little bit deep. Nimblecat is up to P14 as CJ goes into the pit lane. And B Right is just watching on. He doesn't need to make any decisions at this point in the race, knowing that Fanfrenes is in P9. So let's see what happens down the DRS straight again. This is where all the action is going on. So here we go, DRS again. Reese is really clear of Jeffy Boy though. She's not going to get an opportunity, but I tell you who might. Hackmore on the back of that Red Bull. They've both got DRS and know he's going to run out of racing room. What about Mirko on Casper? And he just slams on that brake pedal. They are locked in that DRS train, and Mitch in the kick Sauber on the Haas. Swings it into turn 14 and gets the move done, and into the top 10 goes that Sauber driver. So Reese on to lap 8 leads this Grand Prix. The medium compound tyres are on roughly 41 to 44%. The hard compounds 37%. Although some of the drivers at the back on the hards only 22. So are some drivers looking after the tyres more than others? That is Mirko that is back through on Casper. Super Turbo and Nimble are going at it, fighting for position. The Williams driver is through on the Red Bull, who's down to P14 and doing a great job at the moment. So the Ferrari of Reese into the Las Vegas sphere, and down the side of the monorail they go. Hackmore, B Right, Lewis W and Mirko. Mirko to P6. This is, what a drive from the Mercedes this is turning out to be. So it does say Reese has slight front wing damage, but we shall see. And if he does get that changed in the pit lane, that will cost him a good couple of seconds. But can he live without getting his wing changed? If he can, I'm sure that's what he'll do. So Jeffy Boy will have that DRS and he'll come like a rocket ship, but he's not going to close the gap. And that is CJ that is on the runoff area for the second time this evening. And that is Jay on Mitch. It's deja vu from the last lap. Mirko is bridging that gap to Lewis W in front. Is anybody going to take the gamble? It is. It is B Right that is going to go into the pit lane for the undercut. Both Mercedes are through. Casper in the Aston Martin also into the pit lane. Onto the hard compound tyres goes the championship contender. Where will he come out? Will he come out into free racing room? Super Turbo in the Williams is coming, and I tell you what, B Right, and that is a front wing change for Mitch. B Right in the McLaren has come out into racing room. So that pit stop is ideal for him. And now we can try and get back up to speed on them hards. These medium compounds are falling off quickly here in Vegas. The heat, the track temperatures. So yeah, even at night time between 12 and 15 degrees. That is Mitch on Nimblecat. He does get through on the Red Bull. And there's a few gaps starting to open up. CJ is out in the pit lane. And the Ferrari of Reese is in front of Jeffy by about 8 tenths again. And is Hackmore close enough to try and move into P2? That is Mirko that is through on Lewis W. With the DRS, Mirko is up to P4 into turn 14, 15 and 16. Reese leads in P1, Jeffy in P2. Is he going to go into the pit lane? He does. Jeffy also goes in. Hackmore stays out. Mirko stays out on the mediums. So Reese and Reese and Jeffy are in. The Ferrari and the Red Bull, and there's also a McLaren. The Ferrari does not get the front wing change. The question is, where is B Right? The McLaren driver is coming around the final corner down towards turn 1. The Ferrari is on his way out of the pit lane. There is Reese. Here is B Right. They're going to come out so close together, and Reese has come out in front of B Right. B Right will have heat into them cold, hard tyres. He does come out in front of Jeffy Boy, though. B right, he's going to have DRS. He's going to move over to the outside line on the Ferrari. The Ferrari will go later on the brakes. They do touch, and the Ferrari driver squeezing the McLaren, and the McLaren having to back out and then back up the inside. The papaya goes again. The Ferrari driver is off the track. It's getting tasty between the pair of them again. The Ferrari, like a dog with a bone, does not want to give this up, but eventually has to slot in behind him. And that Williams driver is trying to slow down, and the Ferrari is swinging it up the inside. Crabboy was trying to play DRS chicken with the leaders of the race, and not a great thing to start to do there by Crabboy. And now it is Reese that will get DRS on the Williams driver, and that could have ended in disaster. And that means for Mirko, this is great that Crabboy's just done that, to be honest. Here comes the drivers all lining up. B right is practically pushing that Ferrari through, and down the Las Vegas Boulevard they go. The Ferrari driver down in towards turn 14 and 15. Fanfinus going into the pit lane, picks up a 10-second time penalty. The championship leader has picked up a time penalty in the pit lane. Here comes the McLaren again on the Ferrari. These two have been squabbling all race. The McLaren will go up the inside of turn 1. The Ferrari will have the outside line, but it is the McLaren that moves ahead. Here comes Jeffy Boy. He will go wheel to wheel with the Scuderia Ferrari. He'll try and swing it back up the inside, back onto the throttle, into the DRS range of that Ferrari, but they're all locked in that DRS train. The McLaren moving to the left hand side to then move in to the right on the corner. Reese having to move to the inside, but then late on the brakes, and trying to avoid the switch of direction from the McLaren driver. Obviously had to go to the left hand side so that he could take the corner, and the Ferrari had to counter-react and go to the inside. And the Red Bull of the McLaren, Mirko has stayed out on the mediums again, by the way. Lewis W just in front of Casper. Fanfinus in P10 with a time penalty. What is the options for these Mercedes drivers? Because AMS Mirko started on the medium. So Maxibot into the pit lane. Epic OJ, that is Lewis W that is through on the Williams with the DRS enabled. And here comes Casper in the Aston Martin as well. And he is through, and there goes Reese on B right. He's got the rear wing open, and the Ferrari driver moves up to provisional P1 after the drivers in front do pit. AMS Mirko is into the pit lane, so is Deadly, but Hackmore is staying out again. Remember, Hackmore started on the hard compounds, and I'm sure he'll be going for a longer strategy to try and help out his teammate. Into turn 1 we go. The two Ferraris are 1-2. And then it's the McLaren to the Red Bull. Remember, the McLaren pitted 1 lap earlier than Jeffy and Reese, but the Ferrari of Reese does have slight front wing damage in this Grand Prix. It's not affecting his race pace at the moment, though. That is Mirko that is through on his Mercedes teammate. And all of these drivers, they know they're sort of stuck in that DRS train, and there's nothing really they can do, because B right will get the overtake on the Ferrari. It's just it's guaranteed at this point because of the DRS that you get down the Las Vegas strip. And it will kick off all over again. The two Mercedes, that is Fanfinus and Mirko, catching up to the Williams of Crabboy, who's staying out again. And that is B right in the DRS of the Ferrari, moves over to the left hand side. He will move in front, and the Ferrari goes late on the brakes and tries to go up the inside. Oh my god, how have they got through there? My goodness me, that is close. This is really close between the two of them. They are going at it like cat and mouse, and it's making me a bit tense, if I'm going to be honest with you. Down in towards turn 1, the McLaren of B right in front of the Ferrari of Reese, stays in front of the Ferrari of Reese. Then you've got Jeffy Boy just watching all of this happen in front, and the fight in between them. Dennis is on hards. Ferrari looking for a way through again. And that is Super Turbo into the pit lane. So they are going to go at it for another round. So that DRS will kick in for the Ferrari, and he's going to come right back at this McLaren as we come down the Las Vegas Strip on lap 13. He's going to move to the inside line, and he's going to get the overtake pretty cleanly, and the McLaren will just slot in behind him and be patient about this, wait for his opportunity. That is deadly, that is throwing Crab Boy with that DRS enabled, and it's easy pickings at this point. Here comes Jeffy Boy. Is he going to try and make a move? The Red Bull driver has been building up his battery for a while. The McLaren as well is there. The three of them are going to go down in towards turn one, but they're all trying to be clever about this. They are waiting for the perfect times to get the overtake. They do not want to start getting involved in battling down into turn one when you've got such a huge DRS straight. So the Ferrari of B Right, the Ferrari of Reese and the McLaren of B Right around turn 7, 8 and 9. And remember, they'll get that DRS down the Las Vegas Strip again. And Hackmore has not lost much time to the drivers behind because of the battling. It's really grouping everybody back up. And it's going to make for interesting viewings when they start to battle again. So it is Reese, the provisional leader, once Hackmore does pit, being chased down by the championship contender, 4 points behind Fanfinus in the Drivers' Championship. Currently in provisional P2, he's going to move into the slipstream of the Ferrari. He's going to move to the inside line and then in towards turn 14 and 15, and once again they go wheel to wheel, and that is so close, but they've been able to give each other the space. The Ferrari does nudge the back of the McLaren, and through goes the Red Bull of Jeffy Boy, who is now the provisional leader. The Ferrari and the McLaren, still nothing to separate them. They're going to go 3 wide down in towards turn 1. The Ferrari on the outside of the Red Bull, that is Reese. The McLaren of B Right is up the inside. You've got Lewis W watching on from behind. The Ferrari, I think, just tagged the wall there, and Jeffy Boy is in front. He's been let through because of the battle in between Reese and B Right. So Jeffy is now your provisional leader. So we are going to do it all over again on lap 15. Jeffy Boy locking up that front left. And now Reese and B Right will have the DRS on the Red Bull. Yeah, I know, Banana, don't worry. That is Maximum throwing Epic OJ. And Reese and B Right will chase down the Red Bull. And Jeffy Boy got right in the middle of these two last week, 2 weeks ago in Brazil. Down in towards turn 14 and 15. And Jeffy does stay ahead as Hackmore is still out on them hard compounds. He was expecting them to catch up to him quite rapidly, but that's not what's happened here, which is really interesting. And then the tyre situation, they are racing so hard. I mean, Hackmore is on 70% old hard compound tyres. Nimble Cat getting overtaken there by Super Turbo. But Lewis W will obviously try and stick with B Right for as long as possible and sort of cover him off. That's what the McLarens will work together to do, and the Ferraris will be eerily similar. What will happen? Is Hackmore still staying out though? 72% on them hard. Surely he's in this lap, getting on the mediums, and then he's going to go racing. Nimblecat into the pit lane. So Reese with that DRS again. Is he going to move in front of Jeffy Boy? He is, and the Ferrari and the Red Bull go side by side. Jeffy Boy slots in behind. I mean, softs would be a real gamble because they fall off so quickly. There goes Mirko on Casper, goes later on the brakes around the outside and up to P6. Reese is now the provisional leader as Hackmore does eventually come into the pit lane. So forget the provisional. Reese is now your race leader on lap 17. Fanfness is also through on Casper. Where does Hackmore come out though? I tell you what, Hackmore is in a really strong position here because of the battling of the drivers behind. He's not even coming out a million miles behind this train on fresh tyres for the remaining 8 laps. So Fanfness is up to P6, but he's got a 10-second time penalty, and the fact that he's in this fighting train means he's going to lose a tremendous amount of positions, and he's got slight front wing damage, so it's not good for Fanfness this race. It really isn't. He needs to get a safety car and get rid of that 10-second time penalty. That's what he needs, really. Here comes Hackmore on Deadly, the Aston Martin driver, and the Ferrari on them fresh tyres. Here comes Jeffy Boy, and Reese did pull away by about 0.8 of a second, and you can already see the drivers on them tyres starting to struggle. You look at the tyres of Reese, 30% wear already on them hards, and all of the leaders will just stay in that DRS train. Hackmore in the Ferrari will move on through the Aston Martin and just says thank you very much and picks him off quite easily. Jeffy Boy is starting to catch up to the Ferrari. So B Wright, Lewis W, Mirko and Fanfness. Fanfness will be looking to see what B Wright is doing at every step of the way. At the moment, Fanfness would drop to about P10, potentially P9, with his 10-second time penalty. So he would only pick up 1 point in this race, which is disastrous for the Mercedes. But the McLaren is 3 and 4, looking extremely strong in the constructors fight. So Reese in the Ferrari with Jeffy Boy all over his tail. B Wright is still there. Lewis W is safety net behind him. Hackmore only 2 seconds off Casper, who's only 2 seconds off this train. Here comes Jeffy Boy, and there was an Alpine. Did Reese got DRS from the Alpine of the back marker? That was Epic OJ who gave Reese DRS. So 1 lap of saviour for the Ferrari. I'm not sure. Epic OJ isn't even in his car, Banana. It's saying he's AI. On my system, it's telling me that Epic OJ is in AI. Because it literally flashes up saying info when it tells me that CJ says he's an AI, but he's crashed. It tells me Epic OJ is an AI. I know, mate, I know. So Hackmore right on the back of Casper, and he'll get that DRS, remember. So around turn 10 and 11. Jeffy 7 tenths behind, so I'm not sure he's going to be close enough to make the move. Yeah, I do actually, yeah. So that rear wing opens, and there goes Hackmore on Casper. So Hackmore in the Ferrari is up to P7 with 6 laps remaining. But with the DRS, Casper went for the move, but then backed out. Probably thinking about his own race there, Casper, and thinking about just getting to the end and not fighting. And Jeffy boy, same as Brazil, Reese to Jeffy to be right. And not a single VSC or safety car, which is what we want to see. Jeffy is now starting to get closer and closer, reeling him in like a hooked carp. And down into the sphere we go. And the Ferrari driver slowing it down a little bit through there. Is he starting to struggle on the tyres, or is he just slowing it down intentionally to try and back him up into his teammate? All these strategies that can come into play now. Ben does not have front wing damage, no. So out of the chicane and down the Las Vegas strip, and then the Red Bull now will get that rear wing open. And Lewis has now got to think about Mirko behind Casper, who gets overtaken by Fanfinis, and Fanfinis has lagged right down to P10. What has happened there? Fanfinis is down to P10 with a 10-second time penalty. Oh, he's lagged out. I can't invite Fanf. He's not on my friends list. I keep telling him to add me. So Jeffy boy didn't get the overtake on Reese. Here comes Mirko. He's got Lewis W in front of him. Oh, he goes for a late move up the inside. And Lewis just stays in position and covers the Mercedes off. You need to tell Fanfinis to delete Formula 7 Racing and re-admit. That is Jeffy boy that is through on Reese. Up the inside goes Reese though. Oh, and they clatter together. They tangle. And the Ferrari is back ahead of the Red Bull. Into turn 7 at the Las Vegas Sphere. And that is a Mercedes going to go for a move again on Lewis W. He does, and he punches a hole up the inside. So Reese is ahead still with 4 laps to go, and Hackmore is in the DRS train with them fresher tyres. Here we go. This is it. This is where it starts to get interesting. Jeffy has used a lot more battery, and that is Deadly that's out. Deadly has crashed it, and it's a safety car. It is a safety car on lap 21, and Deadly has crashed it into the wall at turn 12. There is a safety car on lap 21. Wow, my goodness me, if we couldn't throw any more drama into the mix. Here in Vegas, it has come. Jeffy boy into the pits. Wow, everybody else is staying out, and Jeffy boy has pitted. So has Mirko, so has Casper. This is going to be mayhem. So, drama here in Vegas. On lap 22 of 25, the safety car is out. Reese, Be Right, Lewis W and Hackmore have all stayed out. Jeffy boy and downwards have all pitted. for fresh tyres. My goodness me, this is going to be crazy. He's going slow and I don't want to. You reckon I should go for him? Let's go karting. So, race leads to be right in P2, it's Lewis in P3. Hackmore on them fresh mediums in P4. Or fresher mediums. And the safety car will be out for another lap, so it will be 2 laps of racing and 1 lap of DRS. Fanfness really needs to get back in to this race. Oh, he's in. Right, brilliant. Fanfness did get rid of his 10-second time penalty though, so that's great stuff for him. Oh, that's unfortunate. So we are going to have 2 laps. And the safety car is going to be in this lap. Safety car in this lap. Mitch and the Sauber in a good position. Both Williams are there, but they've got a Mercedes on the tail of them. And we've got a lot of drivers on fresh tyres. And the front 4 did not hit. So Hackmore will try to attack Lewis, but he's got to think about Jeffy on them fresh softs. So here we go for the safety car restart, going on to lap 24 of 25 here in Las Vegas, Nevada. And he's leaving this very late is Reese. And he's going to go racing, and off he goes. And the McLaren of B right and Lewis W and Hackmore. Hackmore had to slow down, but he's going to go really deep around the outside. Lewis W just slots in behind him. That is Merkel that makes the move. Hackmore is through though, and he will try and chase down the McLaren. Merkel is going to go into the slipstream of the Ferrari of Hackmore. Remember, Merkel on fresh tyres as well. Hackmore in the Ferrari, trying to go for the McLaren in front. Everything going on behind. Jeffrey Boy on them fresh tyres moves in front. Casper. Lewis W is down to P7 as everybody is swarming on him. Merkel on Dennis. Dennis in the Ferrari goes wide, cuts the corner. Here comes Merkel up the inside. They do touch the Ferrari and the Mercedes, and as they squabble, it gives a little bit of racing room for B. Wright and Reese to go on to the final lap. Merkel, remember, on them fresh tyres, just pitted. Here comes Jeffy Boy on the softs. Merkel in the Mercedes. Hackmore is holding on. The Ferrari driver trying to hold on. Lewis got damaged. Super Tube up to P10. Fanfness up to P9. Be Right, remember, without DRS, he's got Hackmore trying to chase him down. Jeffy Boy and Mirko, the Mercedes and the Red Bull. Here comes the Ferrari of Hackmore, who's absolutely empty in his tank. And the McLaren will move through Hackmore. They're going to go 3 wide down in towards turn 14. Reese and Be Right do touch. It is Hackmore in the Ferrari that is now the race leader. And Reese slams it up the inside. And the McLaren who does get through. And Reese is around. And he's blocked the corner. And the drivers all go through. He's crashed into Mitch. And Reese is down to P13 with a huge collision. Hackmore leads to Be Right to Mirko to Fanfidus. The championship contender of Fanfidus is up to P4. We knew it was going to happen. Oh my goodness me. And Hackmore trying to recharge the battery that he absolutely emptied down the Las Vegas Strip. And around the final lap we go into the Las Vegas Sphere. It is drama once more. So this is it. Mirko all over the back of the Ferrari. The Mercedes driver, remember, they're in a Constructors' Battle as well as a World Drivers' Championship battle. The Mercedes and Mirko is going to go for a move on the inside of the McLaren. That is an audacious move, and he does go for it again. Doesn't get it. Hackmore is 7 tenths clear. Mirko, Fanfidus will move through on his teammate, and I think Mirko will probably back out now so that Fanfidus can maximise his points. Be Right will try and empty the tank. He'll get that DRS, but he's not got any battery because he's defending against Mirko. But it will be enough to just stay ahead of both Mercedes. Fanfidus will surely be let through by his teammate to pick up a P3, and that will mean Mitch goes through on Lewis. That will mean that Fanfidus will still be in front of Be Right by 1 point if Mirko lets him through, but it's Hackmore that wins in Vegas. Be Right in P2. Fanfidus is let through, and Fanfidus will still be the championship leader by 1 point going into the final 2 races. My goodness me. So there you have it, Hackmore on the top step. It is Be Right in P2 and Fanfidus in P3. Let's have a look at the final standings. So it is Hackmore that wins the Grand Prix with the fastest lap. Be Right in P2 and Fanfidus in P3. Mirko in P4, Jeffy in P5. Casper in P6 and Mitch in P7. Wow, what a drive for Mitch. Crab Boy in P8 in the Williams. Let me just put that in. Then you've got Super Turbo in P9. Nimblecat is in the points in a Red Bull. My God, that is brilliant. Jay's in at P11. Maxi Block P12. Reese is in at P13. In P14, Lewis W. And in P15 is Epic OJ, who obviously didn't finish the Grand Prix because he was not here. Hackmore with the fastest lap and driver of the day. How can you not give it to Mirko? I mean, I'm tempted to give it to Nimblecat, I'm going to be honest, but Mirko was incredible tonight, absolutely incredible. So yeah, Lewis didn't get counted. Mirko, yeah, I've got to give it to Mirko. He started in P19. He basically finished in P3, but let his teammate through. I mean, he should have finished on the podium, but he's had to let his teammate through for his championship battle. So yeah, that's the reason I give it to Mirko. Right, let's jump into some interviews. trying to figure out if I'm in the right commentary box here. What was the other one? B3. Two seconds, everybody. 1 second. Let me turn the volume down on this because they copyright me for some reason. So. Sorry guys, we're just doing interviews. 1 second. So we will start off with your P3 driver on the podium. That is Fanfinus. Fanfinus, how are you, mate?
I'm good, mate. I'm good.
Talk us through that race. Talk us through the incredible comeback and the teamwork from your teammate.
Well, to be fair, the race started was a bit slow. Came to the field quite nicely. Then we need to start pushing. We had at the pit stop, got 10 seconds. Just stupid mistake. And then I clipped the wall, going onto the last straight, and got wing damage, bouncing off it. It was all a bit shitty.
Yeah.
But then the safety car came, which was perfect timing. My game started tapping out or something, I don't know what it was doing. And then it teleported me back 2 times.
Oh no, I've seen that.
And then the safety car came. I went softs, I could hold it. I went on the inside, and then the final to last lap, the last corner, I was in P9, and after the...
What did you say? So yeah, you were in P9.
And then there was a whole melee in the last corner, and I went up to P4.
I know, I'd seen the big crash, but to think that you started in P16, you lagged out, you had a 10-second time penalty, and you finished on the podium is quite incredible,
yeah, and
to
I
be honest.
almost got banned as well, but it was just not meant to be, I guess, at the end. Still leading, that's the most important part.
Yeah, 1 point, this is incredible.
Yeah, and ban is an engine penalty next week, so at least that is quite nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just important to stay where we are and just finish good next week. Because this Qatar is, I know it's a good threat for McLaren, but it's still a dirty Appaloosa. So it will be hard to overtake there with one DRS and just complete dirty air the whole lap. So I hope he has a bit of trouble going through the back. But yeah, it's getting crazy. But now I at least still leading after this race.
Yeah.
And next week the engine penalty just needed to gain good points, and maybe if I win he doesn't score good, it's over. But it's still too much to go and too much to race for, I think, to say it's over.
Absolutely. Well, it's going to be an interesting battle. It's going to be a great championship to watch, especially the finale. So well done on an extraordinary comeback, mate. And you're still leading the championship by 1 point. So I can't wait to see what the next couple of races
yeah,
bring.
congratulations as well to Mirko, because such an amazing teammate. I couldn't wish for anyone better, to be fair.
No, I agree. He's been a tremendous teammate for you since he joined Mercedes. So well done to Mirko as well, and well done to you, Fanf.
Yes, well done to the rest of the podium as well, Dennis and Ben, of course.
Cheers, Fanfinus. Thank you, mate. So we move on to your P2 driver, the other championship contender. 1 point separates it. Be right, talk us through that one, mate.
How you doing, Nathan? You okay?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
Yeah. Probably can tell from the race, not the greatest. But it's P2. You still got to take it. 1 point behind in the championship. Not much more I can say. The racing's terrible.
Yeah.
Other than that, not very happy tonight. But it'd be me that's at fault again. It'd be all blame Ben. But I'm not being funny. Reese got a hidden Mercedes livery on that Ferrari tonight.
Yeah, obviously, I won't get into politics. You guys are obviously competing. It's hard. It's really hard racing at times. You know, it's hard to watch at times because obviously I'm watching it and it's
Well,
it makes me
yeah.
squirm at times.
Yeah.
Like,
If we're going off incidents last week, a particular driver pushed me off track and I got accused for I wasn't there. So tonight Reese kept sending it, and he's not entitled to space at that point. He's literally sending it down the inside, and I don't know what you're expecting at some corners. Sector 2 here, you can't overtake. I made a mistake. That's where Dennis overtook me. But yeah, I don't know what he's expecting. It's just a little bit frustrating, you know. He didn't even vote as well. If rules are meant to be rules, he shouldn't have even been here tonight. So I'm really annoyed if I'm to be honest.
no, I understand that.
People don't like me, and I understand that, and I'm fed up of keeping people happy, Nathan. I keep my mouth shut, but I'm kind of done with it. I'm in a championship fight with someone, and you want to come out and just try and take it away from someone. Yeah, I don't know, but I'm just going to leave it there. It's I can't take nothing away from Mercedes tonight. Vanth and Mirko have done a great job. And
Yeah.
Dennis can only run his race, so they've all done well. It's just a shame. It's just what needs to happen out there. It's just not needed. Let's just battle nicely and go from there. But I think Fanth's done it. I think he can hold his head high. It's going to be very tough. Like he said, we got dirty Eric Qatar. It probably hasn't helped doing 2 engine pens, but that's the rules. I don't make the rules, so
Yeah.
not all happy and spoiling tonight.
No, I get it. I do get it. It's one of them races. It's a tough race. Yeah, some of the battling was not needed. Some of the hard battling was just unnecessary. I get that. But you've got P2, the championship. It's only 1 point.
Yeah, it's got that P2 is also gonna be hard to be keeping. I'm gonna be having loads of reports on my name now, and I've got to deal with all that. But no, listen, we keep pushing, we keep doing what we're doing. I haven't had a bad season in both tiers. So if Amps takes this, I'm sure I've got a big chance to take tier 1. But listen, let's keep pushing on, and I don't want to keep you for too long. Mirko deserves his interview as well. So yeah, well done to all the other lads, and yeah, take nothing away from Ferrari and Mercedes.
Yeah, well done, Ben. It was a great result, mate, and it was a shame. Obviously you didn't take as many points as you probably deserved, but
yeah, we keep pushing on, and we see Qatar is going to be the turning point. So
yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah, well done, Ben. I'll see you on the next one, mate.
Thank you, mate. Cheers.
So we move on to your race winner. It is Dennis in the Ferrari. Dennis, just talk us through that one, mate. Your strategy and your race win. No, absolutely, and you showed an extraordinary amount of pace, and your pit strategy to go from them hard compound tyres, you made them work for so long, and then you went on to the mediums. Was there any sort of thought about pitting when everybody went into the pits? No, sorry, mate. I'm just reading the chat saying they couldn't hear you again, which is annoying. But it was a great race, Dennis. It was an incredible performance, a great race win. So well done. You should be really proud of yourself, mate.
Thank you, mate.
Cheers, Dennis. I'll just do a quick interview as well with Mirko, because Mirko, you are the driver of the day. You should have finished P3, but you obviously let your teammate through to be a team player and let him get the points. But just talk us through that race. What a drive of the season that was. Oh, wow. Yeah. Ah, right, yeah. Yeah, it was a really nice race. And was the plan always to just let Fanfurners through near the end? Yeah. And a constructors. You're still in the constructors. Yeah, it's great teamwork, and you've showed it from the minute you got into that Mercedes seat. You have shown amazing teamwork. The constructors at the moment, there's 64 points between Mercedes and McLaren, so it's not out of the realms of possibilities. So it'll be interesting to see where it goes. But I just want to say what an incredible drive, what an incredible performance, and you absolutely deserve driver of the day, mate. So well done. Cheers, Mirko. So, guys, that is it. We are going to be back in 2 weeks for Qatar. Wow, what a season this is turning into be. I think we've got 3 races left. We have Qatar in 2 weeks. Then we have Miami the week after. And then 2 weeks after that, we have Abu Dhabi, the finale. There is 1 point separating the top 2 going into the final 3 races. And we have Ferraris and McLaren's with engine penalties next week in Qatar, and then we move on to Miami and Abu Dhabi. It is all to play for here in Formula 7 Realistic. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll be back on Sunday. I can hear my mic dying in my ear, so it's probably just about time. So thank you so much, everybody, and I will see you in a week's time for the Sunday division. Thank you, everybody.